I believe that's our cue to start talking nonsense, Fizzle.
Sure is.
So how are you doing with this late-night adventure on RPG Limit Break?
I'm doing good. I'm here for the bingo action. Bingo is probably my favorite time of year, either that or co-op, and I'm real interested in tonight's race. We have LuffyDV versus rubes000, and we have got quite the bingo board in front of us. We've got both of our competitors managing to force the same row. Good old column 4.
I think this is the first time I've actually seen both racers go for the same row in the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen it too. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping one of them was going to go for row 5.
I know, I was looking at bottom left, top right myself. But I respect the strategy we're going with in column 4. We gotta find an Oxyel and waste time in C. We gotta waste time tracking down worms or grinding a Gurworm. And then we have to roll the dice on whether Confuse is early or not. And then there's 2 other tiles there.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget that we gotta also hunt down a key.
That's right, we do. That definitely didn't goozle me in my last bingo race. That definitely didn't happen.
Yeah, and the thing is even though neither runner tonight is taking a thief, the thief wouldn't even have helped here, because the thief got shafted with plus 10 lockpicking level.
Yep.
So they could have taken a thief to skip the key if they wanted to take the thief to 34.
Let's actually talk Blursings real quick as we're about to get ready to go. We got black belts. They got plus 5 luck and 40 health. Can't wear ribbon. We got a white mage. It's got plus 20 agility and plus 20 MDef, but minus 10 luck. And then we've got the black mage. It's got thief luck. It's got plus 10 vitality, but minus 30 starting health.
Hey, so the black mage starts slightly more fragile than usual.
And then becomes kind of red mage level at the end.
Yeah, like that plus 10 fit, that's gonna be good enough to at least make the black mage, like, capable of taking a punch in Topher, maybe? I do like the white mage with MDef, though.
I mean, it's neat. I'm not gonna lie, having a white mage with more MDef is fine, but, that minus luck, I'm staring at that, and I got a frowny face.
Okay. If you're counting on your white mage to run away, you don't pay enough attention to white mages. Okay, you don't pay enough attention to white mages. I acknowledge this. No one who actually brings a white mage to play actually counts on the white mage to be the one who runs away. Like, I genuinely will just throw a heal out with my white mage while everyone else tries to run sometimes. Because it's just like, this is a better use of my white mage's time. They're not gonna actually make the run. But yeah, so I guess the real question, it's obvious what both runners' strategy is going to be here in terms of their party selection. So the question, I guess, is what do you do for your second row? Because this is double anti-bingo, which, for the folks playing along at home who don't know what a double anti-bingo is, just like in regular bingo, you've got to fill in a line, but in a double bingo, you fill in 2 lines. What makes it an anti-bingo is one of those lines was chosen by your opponent. Tonight, both of these guys chose the exact same line. So that's less exciting. But yeah, so what do we have in terms of synergies as they get Reuven?
Well, we're gonna look at magic real quick. We got level 1 white, we got harm 3, we got exit, we got cure 3. Over in black, we've got warp, and there's our confuse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's early
confuse carry.
Early confuse and early warp. That is...
Alright, swing and a miss on that whammy, but there's a lot of other good, terrible options in that row. While you were discussing our bingo calamity, I had a gander over at the board, and I'm staring at this row too. This row 2 seems awfully free. We just gotta talk to some bats in Earth. That's fine. We gotta do a full lap of ice. We're probably headed there anyway. Going to 50 is only 8 more levels than going to 42. And then... Yo, dog, I heard you like Hall of Giants.
Yeah, row 2 definitely, like... It's got some annoying things in it.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I'm apt to agree with you on that one. It's one of those things, like, all of the hit level X ones, to me, always feel like that's not actually a problem, because almost so many people favor the black belt, and if you're taking a black belt, you're already planning to grind someone to high level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, why is this even an obstacle? In that same vein, though, top left to bottom right also is arguably about as free. Really, the biggest pain in the butt with that is collect and keep gloves, cap, buckler, and cloth. Mm-hmm. And that's only if, you know, you were bringing, say, a fighter or a thief and needed to carry, like, their class promotion gear.
Right. With the nun, that top left, bottom right, like, you just dump all that armor on the nun and it's fine. That would be an interesting row as well. Probably actually better than row 2, as free as that was. Also, I just want to point out, both of our runners opting for the drop everything and go to Cardia out of the gate play, I like it.
I don't hate it. Let's see here. ADR in chat is pointing out, though, that the big detriment of the level squares is it does give your opponent metagame information, because it tells them where you are in terms of your leveling.
That's true, but I prefer to look at them from the opposite angle. It is a bit of a demoralization if you can light your I level to X level tile and your opponent hasn't even started their grind yet. That can send that can send unprepared runners into tilt mode and kind of a flailing panic. Oh god, I need to, you know, drop everything and grind because my opponent's grinding.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the actual race, both of our runners currently playing the "Oh god, can I please find a non-fetch quest already?" We've seen the bottle, we've seen the crystal, and there is no guarantee that they're going to lead to the end of the line.
Level 2, we've got Life 2, I spotted Ice 3, I don't think there was anything else worth having, and Luffy is first to the Pirates. We got...
Go ahead.
Wait, what do we have? Oh, right, we have Harm 3. We can do that now.
Yeah. I mean, assuming that the party lives long enough for the Harm 3 to get off.
That's fine.
And, well, the TFC part of the TFC and Mermaid floor tile is no longer a problem. Man, column 4 is really free now, isn't it?
Well, we still gotta find the Oxyel. That's still a problem, and there are only a few ways to do the worm tile, and they all feel bad. So it'll be interesting to see if we opt for grind out sandworms and hope that worms are free and Gurworms are free in Topher, or if we resign ourselves to attempting to punch one Gurworm at a time for like an hour in Volcano. It won't be an hour, but it'll feel like an hour when you do it.
I mean, unless you save that for after you've ground your black belt up.
Even then, just one enemy at a time per encounter. It's just the slowest thing.
Yeah, so J-Lo pointing out that the key is good since they didn't bring a thief. The Thief's Malice tonight, in case you weren't here when we mentioned it earlier, is plus 10 to lockpicking level. They weren't bringing a thief to try and replace that key. Even if that thief was also coming packed with extra strength and the ability to wield katanas from the get-go. Which, I'll admit, I would have brought a thief scene. Like, that blursing, I'm bringing a thief.
Mhm.
So yeah. We did also get our hands on a tail from Matoya, which, I mean, thanks, Granny. We're not gonna use it, but, I mean, it's the thought that counts.
Mhm. It's one of those things where it would have been great if Confuse was not level 1.
Or if someone had forced row 3 or column 1.
Mhm.
But, alas, the closest we will come to seeing the Hall of Dragons is, if someone decides to try and bane Tiamat but doesn't feel like climbing up to the top of Sky.
Mhm. Which I'm looking right now, and I see that Rubes bought everything at the caravan. Now, there wasn't much at the caravan, and everything at the caravan was cheap, and we got a bucket of gold out of Cardia. But even considering all that, it's still a conscious choice to just buy everything that's there. So I can't help but wonder if maybe Rubes is setting himself up for a cheeky run at column 5?
I mean, I feel like at this stage, Rubes is kind of just thinking about, you know, buy everything at the caravan, especially after the Cardia raid, is such a free tile. You know,
Right.
There's no reason not to do it, just to have that flexibility of pivoting if something goes wrong elsewhere. I can't imagine what could go wrong elsewhere, but...
So let's peak level 4 magic. Well, we got Lock, I guess.
I never complain about Lock, it is the poor man's fast.
And I couldn't help but notice that Black Mage also did not have any level 3 spells. So we must have checked them, and I missed them, and they were not great.
Well, fortunately, our tracker, Reese, has lent us a hand on that one. The only black magic that made the cut on the list was Ice 2.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's okay. It's good when we run out of Ice 3s, which we had at level 2.
I think that is better for Luffy's setup, as Luffy is running only a single black mage. So having that backup to flip to when we are very likely to run out of Ice 3s, I wouldn't hate it as kind of a utility grab.
Yeah, no, like, it's one of those things, my standing rule with magic in general is, you know, if I don't have anything else at the level but a tier 2, like, AoE, I'll take the tier 2 AoE, just in case something goes horribly wrong, which, granted, I tend to play flags that increase the likelihood of things going horribly wrong, so that might just be a quirk of myself. While we were talking about magic, though, we did finally get to see what the King and Sarah had, and that got us a ship and a rod. And we are about to find out what's over here in Marsh Cave, though. I mean, besides a bunch of bats to talk to.
So, worth noting, we went out of our way to go talk to 10 bats. So we've got this tile. Are we really heading for bottom left, top right? So, Rubes is not in a position to do row 5 because we don't have a white mage and we don't have a hammer swinger. Column 1? we've got the tail. There's
Yeah.
some ugly, like, defeating every trap tile in Ice Cave is, it's time. Like, there's no way
But
to get around it.
But if he's thinking, I'm just going to go grind on eyes, then he's going to have to go all the way through Ice Cave anyway. It's not ideal, but it isn't out of the way either. Like, and since he does already have the tail, like, you do your black belt grind, you go promote, you fill in the slots on one of your black mages, you're done. You'll have the money for it.
Level 2 Bane was spotted, so I believe we are making a run at bottom left, top right, because we got our Confuse at level 1, our Bane at level 2. That covers the 2 worst tiles in that row. The only thing we really need to do is flambe some dragons as we pass by, and we've got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I think the point here is that that corner tile opens up some options. And considering that Rubes is making this play after having both seen that Bane and having found the tail, really, we're not going to know what he's thinking until he does it. Meanwhile, I think I see Luffy making the grand lap of floor 2.
Oh, does that mean we're grind ready? My man.
I mean, either that or he figures this is a quick thing I can pop in and do, and then be on my merry way.
No, I don't think he'd be here unless he was gonna attempt to grind. Also, thank you, Rubes, for the hooray!
Alright, and we got our TNT turn in for the slab. I missed that. Well, I saw that and then forgot to talk about it because there's so many things to talk about. Like that black shirt. That will be nice for keeping one of our black mages from dying. If we, promote, which we probably won't. So it'll mostly just be good for, I don't know, handing to the black belt so that he can make things freeze.
Yeah, it's good to give the black belt something to do for AoE encounters, at least until the grind is done, and then we just walk away from everything.
Well, Luffy at the least is gonna go beat up an eye. And that is a fragile eye, I think.
Under 220, somewhere between 100 and 226 health. Looks like we're getting set up. We're at level 11, so we are super vulnerable to
everything.
To an encounter on this floor. But man, if we can just get that black belt airborne, oh, this is such a play.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna measure how many black shirts per eye. That's in the Imperial system, I think. 2. There goes a black mage. We didn't need that anyway. Alright, average 2 to 3.
Okay, so yeah, that puts that eye somewhere probably close to 170, 180.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Punching us gets 70 damage, which is... Unless the pensions go wrong, in which case it's 32. I think we're going to be back on shirt strats in a minute here. Yeah, damage is only going down, so yep. Time for outerwear. Meanwhile, some kind of grand fetch takes us to the bottle fairy, which gets us an herb. We've got a slab that we're turning in.
Yeah, the bottle was, that was, I think, that was the sages, I think, who had the bottle. I can check. Yeah, that was sages who had the bottle, so this is just sort of Rubes doing some cleanup.
Right. It's a little concerning that Rubes is being this thorough with key items, and we still haven't found the Oxyel.
I mean, he's mostly just been following these fetch quest chains, I think. And it's just kind of been, stuff, and also things, and also somewhere in the mix the white mage fixed something. Which we have cure for, so...
Right, but that means the eye did something.
Yeah. I was looking at Discord, so I didn't see what happened, chat.
I was looking at Rubes' screen.
Alright, well there's a Basa. And I didn't see what the blessing on it is, but it's either plus or minus 5, I think.
Oh, the eye has Dark Touch. That's what we got going on. Okay.
Oh!
That's a bummer.
Alright. Reese confirming that was a plus 5 Masa. Rubes is not gonna have as hard a time getting his grind rolling when he gets to it.
Potentially.
Also, we saw Nuke at level 8 magic.
As much of a disaster as that Dark Touch is, we have backup Black Shirt. So we're not without options.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're transitioning to the solo grind now.
Yeah. So, question, chat. I thought Dark was the one that did nothing. You're right. Dark normally does nothing. But we have this fancy new flag that is being used for this tournament that makes Dark the thing of nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Dark is now to melee as resistance is to spellcasting, i.e. do not.
Yeah, like, basically, lamp. Good.
There's some... I know there... I don't remember the exact formula. I believe it removes the base hit chance from melee, which is gonna tank your melee accuracy so hard that melee's just not gonna be worth it. Even if we get this black belt to 50, if a dark lands, like, we're gonna be asking some questions on whether or not that black shirt's still gonna be more damage than trying to punch.
How enough, like, once you get a black belt up into the 40s to 50s, like, if they get darked, they're still gonna land, like, 3 or 4 hits.
Depending on agility, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not ideal. It's still gonna outperform the black shirt. It's also not gonna break 300.
Also, shoutouts to Rubes for hooray! And we're still fetching.
Alright, most of the items in this game, I can understand how you get an adamant out of them, how you get them out of an adamant ingot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How the crap do you get a ruby out of a bar of adamant?
It's like a Kinder egg.
I don't think that's how either gems or Kinder eggs work.
Sure it is. You just crack open the adamant, and inside is the prize.
Well, there's a ribbon that our black belt can't wear.
That is awkward. So I think that means we're headed to either Ordeals or Waterfall.
Well, I know how Ordeals has done terrible things to you in recent memory, so I'm assuming you would favor Waterfall in this instance.
I think I would have hit Ordeals early. I really want to get levels out of Ordeals whenever possible, and no one goes there, so if something's there and I get my levels, that's like a double win.
Alright, so you don't have lingering PTSD after the ordeals from hell the other day.
Nah, everything's fine. Everything is fine until proven otherwise.
Yeah, it's an interesting gamble, because if Ordeals has your Oxyale, you save yourself the trip to the waterfall. But if the waterfall has your Oxyale and your opponent plays waterfall first, they're probably almost done clearing out mermaids by the time you pick up the Oxyale.
Right.
Assuming you both kind of follow similar lines, because, you know, Luffy's been doing this grind for a while longer.
Mhm.
But he's gonna have to go do that entire fetch chain that Rubes did to learn at the end. You've gotta go into a dungeon!
Almost certainly. With getting all these levels here, there's no real reason to do ordeals or waterfall over the vast abundance of fetch items that we've got in front of us. This is an odd darn moment.
But I guess the flip side to it, I think Rubes is starting at a little bit higher level, and has the Masa. I forgot that Rubes has that +5 Masa.
Yeah, that Maza's gonna get this grind going a lot faster than Luffy got off the ground, but Luffy did start sooner, so that advantage is huge.
I wouldn't be surprised, like, considering how slow it was for him to get up to, murdering the eye in one hit range.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rubes does make up some time here.
Mhm.
Like, I think you're right, Luffy's gonna finish this grind first, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rubes isn't more than a couple of minutes behind.
Mhm.
Basically what I'm saying is, I think we are probably, when everything's said and done, gonna see these two make their call on which dungeon am I going to count on, am I going to assume has the Oxyale, at about the same time. I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like there's positives and negatives to either decision. Waterfall is the risk play. It's high risk, but if it's there, you've saved yourself an Ordeals dive, and what you're doing is now arguably efficient. Whereas if you go to Ordeals first, yeah, you get to skip out on the waterfall thing, but more importantly, you don't have to trek back there if you were wrong going to waterfall. It's the safety play.
So, here's how I think this is going to shake out. I think Luffy is going to make the play for waterfall, and I think Rubes is going to make the play for Ordeals.
I can see that.
Because Rubes has so many shots of warp on his party.
Mhm.
Ordeal, like, the second floor of Ordeals isn't even a speed bump. It is a straight line that you occasionally have to walk backwards twice for.
Oh no, Rubes encountered an undead pack.
Oh!
And they're packing fire too.
Oh. So, you and Reese were both like, oh, who cares? The black belt doesn't need a ribbon. Do you know what would have saved Rubes' grind right there, Fizzle?
An extra 30 levels?
Well, yes, that too. But you know what would have been practical for him to have saved that grind there?
Uh-huh.
Slapping a ribbon on that black belt.
Yep. Hey, the eye grind in this black set is not without its risks, and that's one of the risks that you accept and sign yourself up for is I might, in attempting to get off the ground, run into things that dumpster me, and that undead pack right there, that's what it is. Luffy encountering them too, apparently not only do they have fire too, but they have glare. Oh, Luffy is done grinding, I believe. Where are we at?
40.
42?
Yeah, so he probably grabbed 42 and got the hell out.
42, and we're bouncing.
So, we'll see where Luffy goes. I mean, he's got to do all the fetch quests. And learn, oh. Well then. But, after that, we'll see what he decides he needs to do. So, in the meantime, Rubes, making his way back.
Luffy re-entering Ice Cave.
He might be eyeing top left, bottom right. So he's got to come back in for that full loop.
Interesting.
Or full lap. Either or. mean, it's one of those things that you already have the, you already have the black belt, at a point where you're probably going to be able to punch the crap out of Carrie.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say the odds are good Luffy is going to just take this top left, bottom right, and take it to town. Yeah, you already have to do the carry 2 thing, so this is a basically free diagonal here.
Mm-hmm. No, Luffy, yep, there you go. Alright, lighting that tile and not lighting the, defeat every tile in ice, that is pretty definitive. I think we're headed top left, bottom right for our second row for Luffy.
And yeah, Rubes right now, though, has to be feeling a little bit of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows, like you said, he knows his opponent has already finished his grind.
Right.
And Rubes is aware he lost his grind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken him a little bit to get back down here. But,
And knowing what we do about the Undead Pack having very lethal things in it, it looks like Rubes is not even risking dropping down to take lava and then warp back up. We'll just do the eye fight. We'll let the eye take care of the black mages. It's the slower path, but it's going to be safer rather than like risking another wipe down here.
Well, the other nice thing about it is, we're going to see that, because that was just a random encounter on the off step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know we're going to see it eventually, but by starting the eye grind sooner in the step count, even if it's only a couple of steps, that may be enough time to get that black belt up to a point where, ooh, that dart comes out, but it turns out that +5 Mazza is a pretty good weapon.
It's pretty good. It's definitely gonna catch up sometime. At least the grinding step up through like 26, 27, 28. It's gonna be faster.
Thinking in terms of our blursings, because I think the breakpoint for when you want to take that Masa off is unchanged. Yeah. But with the +5, you know, I don't think that fists are actually going to start exceeding that Masa until, what, 34, 35? Somewhere in that range?
Oh, JLo in chat saying that we're wrong, and that the Undead Pack that wiped out Rubes was the drop tile. Did he banana peel and we missed it?
I have to assume so. Meanwhile, Luffy has decided that, he's just gonna go murder some worms.
Yep.
I know that your heart just bleeds for him right now.
Oh, it's so slow. I hate it. But it's the fastest option, probably.
So Reese, kind of in the background here, pointing out to us that, neither runner went for the wolves tile and ice, which, I mean, it's one of those things. World encounters with wolves, like, I can't imagine either of them. Well, actually, both of them may just be thinking. I think they both did at least see a frost wolf encounter and fought it. So they may just be thinking, I'll go hunt down some werewolves in Earth at some point.
Yeah, I know one of them did. The other alternative is Titan's Tunnel. There's the Gerwolf pack in there. Just take that twice, pretty much. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's wolf packs around Elfland. There's frost wolf packs on the overworld.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things, you're gonna have to hunt for random encounters anyway for almost all of the wolf packs, so I don't think skipping out on the guaranteed frost wolves is the worst, unless you just wanted to murder a bunch of frost wolves to get your 15 total wolves. But even then, could just go scare away a bunch of wolves outside, like, Provoca.
And it looks like Luffy is headed down to do the successfully confuse carry. Let's see if confuse successfully. No, that's not. You gotta go. There you go.
Is there anything meaner than reversed carry floor?
There really isn't. Well, sorry, reversed mermaids. Reversed mermaids absolutely destroys me.
Okay, I can see that. But, you know, it's one of those things, at least you know it's reversed mermaids as soon as you see it.
Yeah. And we got the confuse in 1, punch for 1200, down goes carry 1.
So, for the folks who are following along at home and go, wait, what do you mean reversed floors? One of the other things the randomizer does, sometimes you can set a flag where it just randomly picks certain floors and says, now it's mirrored. And it doesn't matter how long you've been playing with that flag on, it will mess with you every single time it happens.
Like, you can get better at some of them, but there's a couple mean ones. The problem with Carrie's floor is that zoning into it looks like if it's reversed, it's almost identical, except for one thing. The stair tile is like one space to the side. And unless you're looking for that exact thing and know how to react to that exact thing, it's pretty often that you're just going to head in the wrong direction and then just be like, spit.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not crazy, aren't the east and west rooms different looking too?
Yes, they are. The east and west rooms have pretty different shape to them, but also one of them is going to be your red D tile with the quote-unquote incentive box, not actually incentivized in this flag set.
I mean,
and
from
the other
outside.
one is the linked box. Oh, from the outside, yeah.
So, like, if you're paying attention, you can course correct before you walk all the way down to the corner and then go, wait. So, Rubes has just hit level 40 as well. So, probably about to finish up this eye and no longer have to worry about anything.
As Luffy begins his grand fetch expedition, Rubes just hit 44.
Is Rubes thinking of going all the way to 50 and doing that, row 2, maybe?
I don't think 50 is going to be a function of bingo. I think 50 is going to be a function of I lost a grind and I need overwhelming force.
That is fair, but that does open up that row 2 option. But even going to 50, I think that my prior prediction that Rubes and Luffy are going to kind of be hitting that decision point at about the same time might actually still hold. Which, again, kind of goes to show that that +5 Mazda did work.
Yes.
So... Alright, yeah, it looks like Rubes is now making his way out. As these undead are like, oh, you're just shrugging all of this off.
I saw Glare, I saw Blizzard, I saw Fire 2. That is a rough pack. It looks like Rubes is going for quality over quantity, going for this Frostwolf tile. Or actually, maybe going for quantity and just hoping that they all run away.
Did he go for the Frosty tile? I wasn't paying attention.
I don't believe he did.
Okay, so probably not going to go for row 4. I am curious to see what Rubes is thinking in terms of this second row, because the thing to keep in mind for the folks playing along at home, the runners also can see this bingo board that we're looking at, exactly the same way we see it, except maybe the colors are different. So Rubes knows, A, what Luffy has lit up, and B, can very clearly see what he's planning to do. Like, or at least as well as we can. So
Rubes just lit up the 15 wolf tile. And we only saw...
He killed a pack of wolves in Temple of Fiends.
Got it, okay.
Yeah. Now, I did see him do that early on. So yeah, he got his 15 wolves from a 6-pack in Toph and then those Frostwolf packs. So...
Luffy handing in Herb, getting Adamant, gonna get our Ruby, gonna get our sad trombone ribbon. Oh.
Yeah, and Rubes restocking on everything. So, yeah. So, what was my prediction again? That Rubes was going to make the play for Ordeals and Luffy was going to make the play for Waterfall?
Yes. Yes. Right. Because of the extra warp charges, yes.
Alright, so it's time to see if if my continued trend of failing to predict what the runners are going to do pays out.
I'll join you on this journey. We can fail to predict together.
Yeah, except you're actually good at the game fizzle, so you have a better idea of what people are going to do. On an unrelated note, Rubes opting to go ahead and do Volcano first. So...
I mean, the worms ain't gonna punch themselves, so this makes sense.
This is true, but Luffy is going to Waterfall.
Alright, we're half right.
Either that or Luffy has forgotten he doesn't have Oxio. We will find out momentarily.
No, we're going to Waterfall.
Look, after spending that much time punching eyes in the face, frankly, there's a lot of things that people can forget about.
That's true. That is one of the dangers of a sustained grind, is you come out the other end of it and you're just like, cool, what did I do for the last, 20 minutes before I started this? Uh-oh.
You just emerge blinking into the sunlight. And it was blinding.
And Rubes lighting up the 3 different giants tile must have caught a frost giant wall and ice. Here's the red giant. Where was the giant?
On the way to Lefane.
On the way to Lefane, because Rubes did that entire mess of a fetch quest. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely remember Rubes fighting giants on the way back from Lefane, because I think there was a moment in there where his black belt was stunned and he was relying on his black mage to finish the job. Speaking of relying on your black mages to do helpful things...
Ooh. Luffy reset out of Waterfall. 2 guesses on what that wasn't.
Yeah, I got nothing. But Carrie got... Rubes got the confuse on Carrie, and... if I'm not crazy, this is... Yep. This looks like flying... 2 ordeals. So, after all of that, all the wipes, our runners are going to ordeals at the same time to get their Oxiel. Ladies and gentlemen, and those who lieth betwixt, between, and beyond, we have a race.
Luffy has the advantage on second row progression, I think. Buying things at the store is probably going to be a lot faster than hauling out a Tiamat to Bane and farming some dragons on the side. However, main row progression, Rubes is ahead by a pack of wolves. Oh no, wait! Rubes didn't punch the worms in Volcano.
Rubes may be thinking, I'm just going to punch worms in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Rubes gonna gamble on finding a sandworm off the hard reset, or at least somewhere remotely close to it, and then hoping for worms and Gurworms in Topher. That is... I think that is a corrective play based on the wipe. Holding hands at the Oxiel box.
Yeah. Well, alright. Here's what I would assume the metagame thinking is. He knows, if he was paying attention, that Luffy lit up that worm tile right before lighting up the carry tile. So he can probably deduce, if he was watching that sequence, what Luffy did to light that tile. So he may be thinking, I can find the other 2 worms with a little bit of luck and save myself having to punch 12 Grey Worms in the face.
Right.
Which, like you said, it's a gamble. It's a risky gamble, but it will save him some time. Granted, when he and Luffy both light up open every chest on TFC and Mermaid floors within a minute of each other, he may rethink that decision.
Yeah. Nope, we're gonna do Dragon Farming time first, as Luffy is gonna show us what awaits in sea. And immediate Tia, and... and immediate Bane. Okay, well, there's one problem down.
Okay. So
now we just gotta explode some dragons.
I think it's safe to say Rubes is gonna take column 5 and column 4. So both runners are gonna wind up carrying around a bunch of clothing.
No, Rubes is going bottom left, top right. We're farming dragons for the dragon kill count.
Fair point.
I don't hate it because we're literally already here. Just take the fights here. We got double black mages. We can probably just crush through some dragon packs real quick.
Yeah, and that gets those black mages a little more survivability. But yeah, you're right. I kind of was just... I was kind of just like, oh, he must be going down to promote those black mages for reasons. This is because I'm an idiot.
That's the fun of bingo, is that you there's so many paths, and it takes a lot of concentration to try and ferret out the best one on the fly. It's such... oh, it's so fun.
Oh, yeah, no, like, it's one of those things. I know for a fact I would get my butt stomped playing bingo, but I love watching bingo. Especially double anti-bingo. Because there's so much metagame. And I don't have to worry about learning any of it. I just get to sit here and make stupid comments. And you people let me.
I mean, it's pretty fun.
Oh, hey, look, Fizzle, it's, normal mermaids.
And there was much rejoicing.
I almost thought it was reversed mermaids, and then I said to myself, no, wait, you come up on the left side.
Yeah, that's the nightmare of it, because you hit the floor and it's just like, oh, it's revert. Wait, is it? Oh, wait, which way are the streams supposed to go? Oh, no.
Also, apparently Rubes just casually hit level 50 killing dragons.
Seems fine.
But on the bright side, that is a defense sword that both of these runners are going to see. So, Free Temple of Fiends Revisited?
I don't know.
Agree with me, I'm trying to jinx them to keep things interesting.
But I hate having a Chaos or a whatever with just, like, way too much outgoing insta-kill spells.
Well, yeah, because those almost never land on the characters that would make it fun. No, give me a Chaos that hits like a truck and doesn't give you enough time to get your defenses up.
So, Luffy taking a brief inventory on the specific garbage in his bags, so he can buy additional garbage to put in those bags to satisfy row 5, column 5. While Rubes is gonna do the thing we just saw Luffy do and open up every chest on the way to mermaids.
Yep. So, yeah, this is gonna come down to worms.
I think so. If this worm gamble pays off, oh boy.
Because, yeah, like, I assume that... Oh! Okay. Grey worms do pop up on Fire Floor, don't they?
They do, in packs of 2 to 4. Or is it 3 to 4? I think it's 3 to 4.
I wonder if what Rubes is thinking is either A, like you said, try to find a sandworm off a power cycle, or B, gamble on just getting enough worm kills going through Temple of Fiends between the Grey Worms and the regular worms.
Luffy doing his worm grind in Temple of Fiends. Bold strategy. It's paying off. There's our second pack of 5 in like a minute. And I think that was all he needed because the tile has just lit up.
Yep. More delay than I think we anticipated, but that's the first time I think we've actually really gotten anything resembling a spoiler on that front. But yeah, so Luffy's just got to deal with some carry 2 action, and at this point, I really do think the difference between these two runners is that unfortunate wipe in Ice Cave for Rubes.
Yep. Rubes needed some calculated gambles to work, and for Luffy to trip on something. I think he's only going to get half of that.
I mean, it is still Temple of Fiends. Like, you know firsthand, if something happens to both of those mages early on, even with a high-level black belt, this is not free.
Right. We have to kill Carry 2 3 times. Carry 2 once it's respectable, but Carry 2 3 times represents a problem. A problem that if it's severe enough, we have no way to solve. And that's going to be whatever the first spell in the first script of Carry 2 is.
Yeah, because, like, if you lose your mages at Kraken 2, that's doable. Like, you'll still have enough heal potions to recover from that, recover from Tia, and heal up for Chaos. You lose your mages at Carry 2, you're skidding into Chaos maybe with enough healing.
Yeah.
So, watch all the speculation, then Lich busts out turn 1 nuke to just make all of this hilarious.
Nah, Lich isn't gonna do anything, it's Lich.
Yeah, some of us have had to suffer at Lich's hands.
The wolf fights are gonna take longer than this Lich fight will.
He could have gotten turn order, Fizzle. He could have gotten turn order. Well, that's good news for Rubes there. Because presumably Luffy came off a power cycle and saw those worms.
Right. here comes carry 2. What? We're going to do punch, wait, wait. 9 hits for 12-11, so we don't have to worry about carry 2 defenses. Let's see if we can... First spell stun. That is fantastic news for us.
Mm-hmm. And one more carry to go.
What do we got? Just melee. Alright, so there's the big problem. Seems like not that big a problem.
Unless we get a dodgy Kraken, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So Rubes at this point knows exactly where his opponent is, and that is on water floor.
Mm-hmm.
With a high-level black belt. So this is the moment of truth. Can he get his worms and get down there?
Direct shot from Kraken 2 to that black belt. That's an uh-oh moment.
I'm sure it'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen?
Lots of things, but we meleeed through. We got it. Are we gonna heal? You're gonna heal, right? Okay, we healed.
We got Cure 4. We've got heals for days. As long as that white mage doesn't die.
Cure 4. Second, is that some kind of sandwich?
It's like if you could drink a single heal pot and get all of your HP back.
I don't know, sounds broken. Needs a nerf.
I think they made it into an item in one of the flags. By which I mean, they absolutely did bless the full cures. I have absolutely had seeds where the only reason I managed to get through them was because I turned on the extra consumables.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out when they say that they buffed the pirates, they weren't kidding.
Those are monstrous, yeah.
I had to deal with them with using a single master.
Ooh. Here comes Tia 2. What kind of fresh horrors await us? We're going to try some wall and some temper. Incoming melee for not that much, considering that was a black belt. Wall goes off, temper goes off, punch. 5 hits for, was that 333?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
Well,
18 hits for 1300. We solved the problem.
Yeah. The solution was punch, so... Rubes is at least going to get this worm fight.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the meantime, Luffy is coming straight into chaos.
Here we go. We're going to wall the black belt. We're going to I believe that was a defense. Here comes temper. Temper goes off. Defense goes off. Incoming lightning 2 does lightning 2 things. That was actually kind of a big hit to the black mage. Wall goes off. White mage is going to wait, going to react when necessary. Outgoing punch. 3 hits for 269. That ain't good. Let's try some temper. Incoming lightning 2. Still doing a lot of damage to that black mage. I don't think it's going to be around to temper for much longer. Here comes blizzard. For 126 against that black mage. It's now down to 2v1. 4 hits for some damage. Harm 3 for under 100.
Something.
700 something. We're getting there. Harm 3 for 100. Ink missing. Outgoing. 4 hits for 809. Chaos still there. Incoming melee. The white mage survives. Outgoing. 4 hits for 641. Chaos still there. Ablative meat shielding is down, but here goes a punch. 2 hits for 544. Down goes Chaos. LuffyDV finishes in first place with official race time of 54 minutes and 47 seconds. GG.
Drop those into chat if you got them, which you do. You have a keyboard. I know you people have keyboards. And I am sure that Luffy will be joining us at his first convenience.
Meanwhile, Rubes on carry 2, doing the 3 takedowns of carry 2. I note that the worm tile is still not lit.
Saw him get a pack of 4 gray worms, and I didn't see if he picked up any worms on his way to Earth floor. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I assume that he's gonna try and hunt down worms on air floor to get that
Potentially.
tile. But in the meantime, I'm gonna see if we can get Luffy in here. Okay, there we go. GG, Luffy.
Hey guys, GG's.
GG.
Ugh.
Thank you.
Your
GG's.
so your choice to hunt down those gray worms wasn't the only difference maker, but it certainly helped.
Yeah, it was I was sitting there on the eye and I was just staring at the line I had to do and thinking at that worm tile and thinking about confusing carry, and I'm like, I should just do these both at the same time. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna stick with R4 taking the nun or pivot to top left bottom right, but I figured that the top left to bottom right would have been quicker because then I wouldn't have to do Earth Cave. I can just kill 2 lines in my column in one shot and just it just kind of came together. It was okay.
So I got a question. Let's rewind to the very, very, very beginning. Talk me through your pick of forced line.
So you're talking about the one that we forced to each other?
Yeah, that one.
It just looked overwhelmingly nasty. The confused carry, that spell. I love that Rubes, by the way, is giving the fans what they want and taking that massa. That's awesome. The confused carry can always be a bit of a pain if that happens to roll promotion locked or whatever. In this case, it rolled level 1, so yay. And I have been voicing my displeasure for open every chest on TFC and Mermaid floors for weeks. because that to me is, it feels no different than throwing out the massa. It feels like you need 3 key items just to go there.
Mhm.
You'd need 2, I get it, but it feels like 3 and it's just awful.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was my thought.
So once you
Yeah,
had your forced row pick, how long did it take you to figure out what you were doing for your second row?
It was pretty much when I was sitting on the eye taking my levels. Like I said, I was thinking about, do I do R4 or do I go back in and hit that not top left to bottom right? Because as I was lighting that level of 40 on my black belt, I was like, oh, well, I have to do carry 2 as well. I have to light this tile. That's 3 on the diagonal. Gloves, cap, buckler, cloth. I can just buy them all in shops. So that's fine. And if I just go back in and do the full loop of ice, then I can just finish this right now and not have to worry about doing Earth Cave. So that was kind of what I thought.
Meanwhile, Rubes giving us the victory lap on Chaos Floor, or maybe this is a hunt for worms. I'm not
this is
sure which.
worm hunt. He hasn't
This,
lit the worm tile yet. Yeah,
that Phantom encounter is just terrible too.
yeah. So the big difference in this race, Rubes banana peeled on his first attempt at the eye grind and fell into that pack of undead.
That had
And
all the fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is he did all of those fetch quests first.
Right.
So his black belt had that +5 Masa in hand.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was one of those things. In spite of that, he actually did wind up catching up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing that what did slow him down?
Um, it was different tiles that had essentially been done. He had more of the required row done. Essentially, he'd already done the kill the wolves, but in terms of his second row, didn't really have too much done. Like he didn't have his dragon kill and his bane kill when you both went to ordeals. So he
Mhm.
went off to go do all that stuff while
Mhm.
you went on a shopping run and figured out where wolves live.
No,
Yeah.
Uh,
I
no. What?
saw them off the second encounter off the hard reset in the Temple of Fiends as I was being an idiot and walking on that floor flipped, figuring like, oh, gargoyles, that's a neat encounter right there. And then realizing, oh, wait, I have the key already. This floor is flipped. So I saw zombies, gargoyles, and then there were wolves in there. So, okay,
Mhm.
I can get the wolf tile before I go in. I'll just leave that unlit. And part of me was like, I'm just going to leave this and just have him look at it for a while and think, why haven't I done that yet?
So
Question: if there are worms on this floor?
I don't know what encounters specifically are pulled for this floor. I know I've seen 3 to 4 worm at some point.
Yeah.
Update from the bingo chat room. Rubes saying he needs 1 worm, just 1 more worm.
Okay. Now that I have had a moment to think, the difference is when you got to ordeals, you'd already done volcano.
Right.
Rubes hadn't, so he actually left ordeals first,
Mm-hmm.
but he had to go do carry.
Yeah, that was my last location of the Oxyel because, like, I'm in my head, I'm like, all right, I got this turn in, this turn in. I can spin Marsh super quick before I do the slab turn in. I figured he had done that already, lighting the 10 bats in Marsh. So if that's the Oxyel, then he's already got that, but he hasn't lit that tile yet. So, maybe it's a fetch chain he's waiting to turn in. And then I'm like, all right, I'll do these fetches, and then I'm gonna go to on rack because if the Oxyel's here, I'm gonna feel like a dummy going to ordeals. And I saved kind of right there at the river, so I can just reset back and try to save myself a little bit of time. When I saw that it was the chime, and I was just thinking to myself, please don't let him light that every TFC and Mermaid floor before I at the very least get into Sea Shrine. And I think I had a pretty good chance. So when I hit that first, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better about where I'm at. I just had to track down the buckler, and I thought it was at Canaria, but it was at Provoca. And once I had that, I knew that where the wolves were was the last tile I had to light before carry 2. And it kind of all just came together.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I'm glad you kind of talked through that because, one thing Fizzle and I have been talking about for the last hour has been how the presence of the bingo board introduces this really complex metagame,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where you have limited knowledge of the things your opponent has done, but not complete knowledge.
Right. It's I've done a lot of practices of these with Shoon Bobby, Chanigan, and Pickles and Beer, who I played the other night, and we've seen a lot of things, lighting up the boards like a Christmas tree and a candy cane, and you see what people think and what they do, and it's kind of given me a pretty good insight, I think, into like people's approach to this thing. So there was a little bit of a head game with where I was going to light some tiles, knowing that we force each other the same row. And Rubes is just a really great competitor. He's a fantastic runner. He knocked me out of spring tournament last year, so I had a little bit of a grudge with him. We've been chatting about it over the last 8-9 months or so, ribbing each other back and forth. I really enjoy racing him. He brings out some of the best in me, I think. So I was just really happy to race him again tonight, and I'm glad to come out on top.
So the real question I have, Luffy, is when are we going to see a blackout bingo challenge in the Iron Goals?
I mean, bring it on. Let's do it. I'm down.
I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I'm saying someone's going to have to make that attempt.
I'm sure somebody out there is just as as sick as I am and would like to do that. So let's go. I'm ready.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Luffy has issued an open challenge to anyone who wants to do a blackout bingo race. So,
Just throw 2.5 hours of your life aside at least, because they can get kind of fun.
well, yeah, that's the whole point of a blackout bingo, is to waste your time. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, the real question is when we're going to see a lockout bingo race.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
But anyway, Rubes has still not found this friggin' worm.
This feels real bad.
No, I think we've seen all the other encounters on this floor.
I think we've seen all the other encounters on both floors. Literally, like, that worm had to be encounter 8.
Yep.
I'm telling him I'm cheering him on in the race room still because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is they always you never see and this was a Danny seed and we love Danny. Shout out to Danny 3883 for helping us get set up and everything tonight, and thank you to you guys also real quick for being super cool about pushing the time back and everything. We had a couple things come up that were outside of FFR that kind of had to push us back a little bit tonight, so thank you guys for being super cool, and RPG Limit Break for allowing us to still be restreamed and kind of hang. And I'm with this seed, like I was just hoping that he was seeing all the unrunnable crap that I was the entire time, because it was driving me absolutely bananas that every 3 steps there was an unrunnable zombie or an unrunnable something, and it was just like I couldn't shake it. And then you see the frost dragons with crack and Temple of Fiends, and like my first 3 encounters, I'm like, well, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna get cracked through a ribbon. I'm just gonna have to reset out because I've seen this happen before, and it was a fun race. It was a good race. The bingo is an interesting, angle to what we do here at FFR. So I had a lot of fun playing this one, and I'm looking forward to my next race with Fry Teeth.
So Rubes is out of healing.
I was just about to point that out.
Did he pick up the defense sword perchance?
He did.
Okay, so he's got a shot.
Yeah, like that. Well, he just went ahead and reset.
Yikes.
Yep. Black Mage went down and he decided, nope, we're gonna try this again. We're gonna look on the first floor, right?
It's one of those things we know off a power cycle. He's gonna see those gray worms after Lich 2.
That's true.
So he is guaranteed to get his last worm fight on the way down.
Mm-hmm. I saw regular worms as my second encounter, and I want to say that was probably like the 3rd or 4th encounter of the hard reset, because I took the wolves, and then I just soft reset going back in because I knew how gross the encounter table was, and I just wanted to be in a good spot, hopefully hitting the later floors, and it turns out I kind of was.
I guess that's another question I had. So you went to Volcano to do the one at a time punch worms thing. Did you have any willpower to try to gamble on finding like a sandworm and then like a worm in Topher and then a Gurworm in Topher?
So I thought about it. I had that tile a couple of times in practice, and each time that I did it, like I'd look for the sandwiches and I couldn't find them. And I never feel like just risking it and waiting to kind of hopefully running into that, 2 to 4 pack in Temple of Fiends. And I know that the gray worms can be a little slow because it's only like a single encounter and you got to take 12 fights. But with going there to do carry anyway, I just thought that I could maybe hedge my bets a little bit, and maybe he wouldn't find them on the overworld, like, and he maybe had to do the same thing I did. And it turns out that, fortunately, the worms have tripped him up a little bit tonight, and, just kind of worked out.
Well, as someone who has lost a bingo race because I'm a fine Sarias and Topher, lol. Well done for taking the sensible route.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's one of those things where you just kind of, it's the nature of the beast. Where a lot of it comes down to there are several ways to approach this tile. And honestly, I think a lot of the tiles that's the case have a good push and pull to them, where you do have different approaches you can take, and depending on how the seed rolled, one approach can pan out and the other doesn't.
Right. It's there, like I said, with all the practices I've done with these, with some of my friends in the community over the last several weeks, you've seen a lot of different angles and a lot of different thoughts of, when we force something upon somebody, what their choice is to do for themselves. And, you want to kind of think like, how can you kind of assume what they're going to do? And Rubes, he's going to almost essentially triple bingo tonight, and I've done that, in a couple practices, and I feel like if I just could focus on one or two lines outside of what I have to do, then it would help me, with the occasional, cure the status ailment. I saw the dark touch on the eye, and I was like, all right, let me just light this one because it's here. And, you try to just think about what can you do to just kind of be most efficient in the most inefficient way possible, because you do a lot of things in this bingo that you don't maybe necessarily do in a normal seed.
Oh, thank the Lord, we have finally found a worm.
Nice. Did we ever see fast too? Because it had to be level 7 or 8. I didn't see it.
I don't know.
Let me check
check.
our trackers notes.
Fizzle's beating me to it.
It was in on-rack.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I maybe could have picked that up. I'm not sure. I always forget which one in on-rack is learnable, if it's slot 1 or slot 2.
Slot 2.
Okay, so it's the same as Gaia then. I'll try to remember that.
Gaia's slot 1.
That's what I said. I don't remember anything. We all make mistakes.
I've had to learn those the hard way by losing to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that as runners that we've seen and done. Like, you're not an FFR runner until you lose a race a certain way, and it stings in the moment, but it's always a little fun to laugh at it after the fact. I've had that happen to me before too, so it's fun. It's fine.
Real trick is losing in such a spectacular fashion that people name losing like that after you.
Yep. Kraken hits so hard.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was a bit of a oh no moment.
Yeah,
Is it really Temple of Fiends Revisited if you're not playing Rocket Tag?
It was funny too, because when I move the black belt, I'm like, I'll put the black belt in slot 4 because I know that he's always going to target slot 3 and hit the white mage anyway, and of course he targets the black belt in slot 4, and I just kind of laughed to myself. I was like, well, thank goodness I got cure 4 and I can maybe make this not kill me.
That life too. You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been dicey to get through him with a little bit of Bane, Harm 3, and a Dream, but it worked out okay.
I mean, yeah, sure, you didn't have access to Nuke because that was at level 8 in Lefane, but... Anyway, Rubes has finally made it down to Chaos. Throws a couple of black mages in the path of the final boss.
Did he not grab Temper?
I don't think he did, but I mean...
It's really not going to matter yet.
He's thrown a lot of locks onto Chaos.
Yeah.
I don't think Temper's gonna matter very long.
Nick sits for 749. Chaos still there. Lightning 2 not doing much. This is probably going to be the last round.
Because, yeah, if I'm not...
And 5 hits, 647, down goes Chaos.
Yeah, if I'm not crazy, Rubes did have 2 ribbons to toss on those black mages. Or was that you, Luffy, who found the second ribbon?
Ooh, I only found the incentive ribbon, I think. So...
Okay, I think there was another ribbon in Frostwolf room, if I'm not crazy.
I didn't go to that room because that's when I was making the decision. Do I do all the tiles or do I, do the lap of ice too? And I just hear Fizzle in my ear, stop opening boxes and just do the thing. So I was like, I'm not gonna open boxes. I'm just gonna go walk ice too and go from there.
Yeah, Reese confirming in the notes room that it was the Frostwolf room. Yeah, so Rubes saw that wolf encounter early on, I believe, in Temple of Fiends, and did clear it out. So he just needed to get so he just did the Frostwolf tile twice and had his wolf kills.
Right.
So that's kind of how he wound up in that position. But speak of the devil, and he shall appear. GG, Rubes.
GG, 1 second. Can you hear me now?
We could hear you before too.
Okay, sorry. I thought my headphones were connected, and they weren't. Yeah, that was. That was
I mean, I was going to ask what your thoughts on worms are.
yeah, well, I mean, going into Topher, I knew that Luffy was ahead because of that stupid ice wipe. So I was just going for the Hail Mary in case something bad happened. Just find all my worms in Topher. Of course, I also ran from a worm on the way down to Carry, which was wonderful. Then I kill Tia. I have 11 worms, and I can't find a single one on the Chaos floor.
Yeah. So that's the crazy thing is you both emerged from ordeals at the same time.
That's so wild.
Oh no, really? Wow.
That's
Yep.
so
Yeah.
crazy.
Because, okay, here's the thing, Rubes. You did that whole fetch quest chain that ended with the Masa and the ribbon first. Luffy did that after his grind. So, well, you started your grind a few minutes after Luffy did. You had a much faster wind-up. So you were able to basically, like, even with the ice wipe, you were right on his heels getting out of Ice Cave. And basically, that wipe, the main damage it did is the time you lost having to go back in was the time Luffy used to go into Volcano, kill a bunch of Grey Worms, and confuse Carry. And that was the difference between when you two were getting to Topher.
Yeah, if I hadn't screwed that up, I would have done the same thing in Volcano. I would have just killed Grey Worms instead of, or maybe left a couple, like I was actually planning to do on Dragons, but I didn't. But yeah, I would have done the bulk of that grind in Volcano.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, if y'all go back and watch the VOD, I even anticipated, like, that you would go for deals with those two black mages, and Luffy would make the Oxyel play in Waterfall.
Yeah. I just had a feeling, because every time I've played it, it seems like Ordeals has the tail, and I'd already found the tail, so it was like, I bet the Oxyel's here.
Yeah. I last location that, of course, like I always do.
I figured.
Yeah.
There's no reason we should have been that close.
Nah, man. That was. I could feel you breathing down my neck every time we race.
I mean, like I said, it's one of those things, like, you both had similar strategies, and the differences in routing were balanced out in a lot of ways by, well, the advantage that were gained by making slightly different decisions. Like, you being able to get through those early eye fights where Rubes had to kind of lean on that black shirt to kind of get that black belt up to, you know, what, level 22, 23 before you could really just start punching the eye out?
Oh, I never used the black shirt.
Yeah, that was
Luffy.
me.
I meant to say Luffy. I said Rubes, and as soon as I finished talking, I was like, I said Rubes instead of Luffy. But yeah, no.
I said Joe Montana.
The funny thing is too, like I'm sitting there and like I'm in one of the fights of the eye, like I'm throwing the punches and I'm looking at the bingo board on my other monitor and like I'm not really paying attention because all I'm doing is just like, you know, holding the A button down. And then I looked over and I had thrown like 3 rounds of punches and then saw the black belt was darked and I'm like, oh my god. And then I realized I had the black shirt still again because I had used it already, and thank god I did, because I would have just sat there trying to get a crit through with like 4 hits on a black belt and just would have been there. It just would have been awful.
Oh, the eye had dark?
It had dark touch. Yeah, that's how I got the cure status ailment.
I think it had dark in my race with Pickles and Beer too.
That's
I mean,
what I really thought today.
It was an ideal opportunity for us to talk about the buffed Dark Flag.
Oh god, it is so evil and great at the same time. It really is.
Absolutely. So, Luffy talked a little bit, Rubes, about sort of some of the metagame, not like that the common bingo board allows for, but just kind of a question for you. And I don't know how closely you tend to watch the bingo board, but This was something I just kind of assumed might have happened. When Luffy was clearing Volcano and did get the successfully confused carry lit up right after the defeat Worms tile, were you paying enough attention to go, oh, he killed the Grey Worms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to, confirm that.
Mhm.
In case someone watches this and wants to learn a little bit about how people who are really, really good at bingos, think.
Yeah, I try not to look at the bingo board for maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes too much, aside from what I'm doing, because if you see somebody light up, take that black belt to level 25 and it's at 17 minutes in and the black belt's level 25, panic sets in, oh my god, what are they doing that I'm not? So I try not to look at the board too much. I don't know about Rubes, it's in my head if I look at it.
Yeah, no, I was looking at basically the whole time. It's right next to the emulator. So if you got the 25, okay, he must be doing eyes because there wasn't nothing quick off the power cycle. So I'm like, he's got to be doing either eyes or Agnes, more likely eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little behind you in there, and then I stupidly thought I could maybe drop down and Dan off one of the black mages and come back up instead of just letting the eye punch him down, and I paid the price.
Okay, so that was a deliberate effort and not like a banana peel.
Yes.
All right. Well, that at least it wasn't, the consequence of a misstep.
No, not this time.
Because we weren't entirely sure if that, here in the booth, we weren't entirely sure if that was the result of an off-tile encounter or if that was a banana peel or what. And Chad at least was able to confirm it was the trap tile underneath.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So
that makes me think about how lucky I honestly am then, because when I took the first the mage tile and then warped back, I thought to myself, maybe I should just take this tile right now with the 3 party characters, but I didn't have a sweeper on the black mage. I had harm 3 on the white mage, and that was it. And I knew I had the light axe, but I was let me just get the black belt up and running, and maybe I'll get lucky enough for them to run. And then when I went down there at 42 and I saw the nasty on that tile, and thank goodness some of them ran from me, I was looking at that oh my god, this is I couldn't imagine dropping down there in the teens. I would have been annihilated.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly what happened. And then I forgot I had a light axe, so maybe I could have cleared them out. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, I got lucky then.
the one benefit of that happening, Rubes, before the match started in the broadcast booth, me and Fizzle and Reese were talking about the Blursings, and the two of them were oh, the black belt doesn't have ribbon. Oh, that's such a detriment. And then you got toasted by all of that, and I was oh yeah, the black belt doesn't need a ribbon now, does he?
But shouldn't have.
It's funny too, because the golds rolled +3, the pro ring rolled +5. My black belt was wearing armor until I forgot to take it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's getting kind of late. Fizzle, do you have any other questions you wanted to toss out there? Get Rubes' thoughts on picking column 4, for instance.
Yeah. What stood out specifically about column 4 over other choices?
Well, I didn't want to give any free squares, and it seemed like almost all the other options had free squares.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping Confused would roll high. Obviously, it did not.
Same.
I wanted to force either a sea or sky trip, so I was like, okay, we'll do the TFC, and I know he's not going to take a thief, so he's going to need the key also.
That
And-
malice on the thief too. Like, there's no way.
It was like a plus 10 lockpick
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, so what was that, like 28 or something like that? There's no way I was taking that.
That was pretty awful.
Yep.
And then, I mean, I know Carrie 2 probably won't do anything, but like I saw in one of the other races, you know, she rolled nuclear first turn, so you never know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then also, you know, just killing worms one at a time, because I figured that's what would happen. It's just time sink, and then the wolves, you just never know. But I mean, I was going to lean on the frost wolves anyway, which I'd already killed some werewolves, I think, in Marsh. Oh, so I didn't have to kill too many. Or maybe I killed some frost wolves on the overworld. I don't remember, but either way.
And I guess my only other real question is, so I have to assume you went in with a plan for your second row. Did the ice wipe cause you to shift to a more risky second row, or did you stick with the second row you always thought you were gonna do?
The whole time I was going back and forth between C5 and BLTR. Because I mean, I went out and I obviously had I had to take the nun, so that was free. I bought everything at the caravan because that was easy. And I'd already killed a bunch of giants. I'd already killed like 10 or 11 giants on the overworld, so I was like, I don't know. And then I realized I didn't want to go hunting down gloves, cap, buckler, and cloth because I forgot about it. So I decided I'll just go with the other one.
Did you end up finding Tia in the Hall of Dragons?
I did.
All right, yeah, because we had everything to get into Sky and Mirage, but I was like, there's no way that he did that. I figured he found her there.
I don't think I had the chime. I think I only had the cube.
Yeah, Chime,
Chime was Waterfall.
Yeah, Rubes went straight to Ordeals.
Smart.
So he never saw Waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, you know.
It was funny too, because when you lit up that Tia with Bane, and I saw you just had that one thing left for C5, I was like, oh my god, he's almost. Oh wait, no, we have the same line to do here. It's actually a little closer than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I still had to do all of, you know, mermaids and TFC floor. So I was behind there, and like I said, I was going to throw the Hail Mary worms in Topher, and didn't quite work out as planned.
Yeah.
But I mean, given what happened in Ice, I think that was really the only gamble you could have made to try and claw that time back. Because pretty much everything else, you like, there was really only one option for how to attack it, but that was the one tile where you had options, and you went for the high risk, high reward one of just not only need to do a handful of fights as opposed to 12 fights to get it done.
Yeah, I knew I needed a chance, and I was just hoping Chaos was going to roll something nasty on him, or Tia would do something, but obviously that never materialized. So, I mean, great run, GG. Great run, Luv. GG.
Yeah. GG's Rubes. Thanks. Same to you.
I mean, it kind of sounds like y'all have already given your final thoughts. Do you have anything else you want to add before we close things up?
I'll just say, sorry it took me an extra like 15 minutes to finish.
It's fine. I'm not gonna lie. We were possibly laughing about it in the booth.
Good. I've never seen so many phantoms in my life.
It's so terrible.
It really was impressive how apparently the encounter tables on those floors had exactly one worm encounter.
Yeah. I know. I ran out of heal pots.
Yeah, no, that's what made it funny. It was just, wow, this is literally the worst possible encounter table for what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, after we saw, like, you know, the worst encounter table for unrunnables the entire time, you go in there looking for something and you don't find it. It's just like, thanks, appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy, what about you?
Like I said earlier, thank you guys for being accommodating, for letting us roll it back a little bit. You know, for Reese for tracking, Math Girl for the restream, Fizzle and Woe for comms, thank you guys, and Rubes for the race. Like I've been saying, I love racing you. I think you bring out some of the best in me, and I think we got a nice little friendly rivalry, you and I. So I enjoy racing with you all the time, man. So thanks for being here tonight, and GG's to you, and good luck in your next race as well. I think we both have fry teeth next, so that should be fun.
Likewise, I think you're using the term friendly with the train. But, you know.
Oh, tell us how you really feel.
Ladies, you're both pretty. All right. So just to reiterate, thanks to MG for handling the restream, Reese for keeping us honest, and RPG Limit Break for letting us waste their time. But that being said, I would just like to remind everyone that Luffy has thrown down the gauntlet in the Iron Goal. If anyone wants to go in for a blackout bingo. So, just something to keep in mind for folks who might be watching this VOD back, but, Fizzle, why don't you go ahead and take us home?
Thank you to RPG Limit Break for letting us do this. Thank you to Math Girl for taking time out of her night to restream this. Thank you to Reese for giving us notes so that we can pretend we know what we're saying sometimes. Thank you to everyone that turned out to watch this. This was a great race. For everyone at the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.